Some good potential names. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the DNVR show.
Wow. That's the first time I've ever messed it up.
That was delicious.
That's a rough start.
I'm sorry.
Rough start.
That's going to sound good in the headphones.
We are presented by Bet365. Never ordinary. I'm Harrison Wynn. That's Brendan Vogt.
So sorry, everyone. So sorry. I'll
What
lock
happened?
in. I don't know, man. I'm not sure. It's like, you know when Jokic shot 3 of 49 in a game? Kind of feels like that.
And then everybody just said he's having a down year, off year.
Yeah, and then everyone turned on him. So
Yeah.
you guys are welcome for the historic efficiency that's to come.
Well, hoping a similar thing doesn't happen with you. That's D-Line over there.
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed watching him struggle through that air horn.
Kind of choked. It got a little wet, you know, and I didn't want to make it terrible for everyone. I just had to abandon it.
And I'm Harrison Wynn, guys. Great show planned for you guys today. We are going to go over what Jokic era Nuggets we would most like to
Gary
add
Harris
to this team. He's on the list.
Is he? Oh.
He's on the list. And then we got a all-encompassing mailbag. Tons of great questions that we are going to get to. From, did you see it that the Serbian Basketball Federation voted Bogdan Bogdanovic the best Serbian basketball player? We'll get to that.
The pettiest people alive.
Also, maybe some potential trade targets, some names that Calvin Booth might look to add to this team.
Gary Harris.
He's on the list. How are you guys doing, though? What'd you guys do in your last 2 days since I've seen you?
I went to Chili's.
Nice.
Dude, Chili's underrated, I will
No,
say.
I think it's overrated.
Really?
I
went to Chili's for the first time like a month ago. I thought it was pretty good.
Did you?
Yeah. First time in many years.
Yes.
Not first time ever.
Me too. Okay. Yeah, that's what I did.
Did you get the queso?
No, maybe that was my issue.
The Chili's queso is great.
I sat down to read a book. And when I came to, I was 5 seasons into a Madden file. So still TBD on the reading, but the Madden's going great.
That sounds
Are you
great.
growing the mustache back?
Yeah, it's good. There's going to be an awkward phase. I apologize for that.
It looks like it's coming in.
I'm sorry. It's going to be tough. It's
I mean,
going
at
to be a
least
tough
it's
couple weeks.
noticeable.
Well, you
But,
should try like a different, like bizarre piece of facial hair.
Yeah, I think I'm limited in what I can grow, dude.
Okay.
I'm just happy I get this.
You could go soul patch.
I once did that in middle school. Scott Spezio of the St. Louis Cardinals had a red dyed soul patch. He led them to a title. So I had a soul patch and I colored it in with a marker and I went to school like that.
I got to think that those two patches represented the least amount of soul.
No one liked it.
I've always wondered, like, how would you come to the conclusion that you should go soul patch? Like, how is that the
I think that you
piece of facial hair? But you go soul patch and only soul patch. Like, that's a move.
I think that you just like you're strong in that area, and then you don't want to. You know, it's like it chooses you.
Retired rocker, current sponsor for an alcoholic. Those people all have soul patches in my experience.
Are you thinking of a sponsor specifically?
Yeah, several, to be honest. Honestly, I could think of several off the top of my head. All soul patches. I don't know what that's about.
Okay. All right. Good chat. I saw people talking about this on Twitter, and I thought it'd be a good topic to talk about on this show. Former Nuggets from the Jokic era that you would want on this team. Former Nuggets from the Jokic era.
I need to understand. So if you are bringing in a player, does that mean a player has to move out? So like you're saying that you would prefer them to play at a position that exists, or is this we're just adding Nuggets?
I think just adding.
Okay.
Yeah, but adding former Nuggets in their current state. So you're not adding prime
Oh man.
Gary
Facu
Harris. You're
Campazzo.
adding Gary Harris right now.
On the injury report?
No. That's part of it. I mean, let's not get ourselves.
I mean, yeah, that is part of it. That is part of it. So let's get into this. I got a couple names that we can start off with, and then we can throw in some honorable mentions as well. But let's start with the guy you just mentioned, Gary Harris. He is injured right now.
There
He is injured.
Look at
but this season, he's averaging 7 points a game, only 43% from the field. So his shooting's dropped off, but he did shoot it well last year, 43% from three. Strong defender. What would Gary Harris look like on this Nuggets team? Would he have a role?
This is what I'm saying. Like, Gary Harris would probably. I mean, he's not taking KCP's position.
You don't think?
No. He'd be coming off the bench.
He'd be coming off the bench. He'd probably be taking Christian Brown's spot. Gary has in his career been a formidable at times defender. He famously turned the tide for the Denver Nuggets in the bubble when he returned to the lineup with his defensive prowess. I don't know how he's been. I got to be honest. I don't catch as many Orlando Magic games as I maybe should.
I think I've caught 2 this year.
I'm using the word "caught" like you do COVID. I'm like
Caught one of them courtside.
That's true.
That's right. Caught an L too.
Yeah,
Didn't
we did. We caught quite a bit that
Yeah.
night. Caught some popcorn. That was good.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I mean, Gary, that's just like a pure vibes pick. Like,
Right.
I think it's more vibes than actual substance.
Yeah.
there's a lot of vibes picks here for the Denver. I mean, there's not a ton of guys you look back on because what the Nuggets turned into, they like found their perfect form in a way. Like, there's a lot of guys you look back, you're like, man, that would be cool. Like, that would feel good if they were part of it. But there's not a lot of guys you're like that. They would be a better choice than what we have.
Right. I actually think we're finally past the you could talk yourself into Gary still makes sense if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
As many in our chat have many times over the years. I think we're kind of over that hill, to be honest. You got what you need in KCP, and Christian is a piece you're in theory developing for the future. Gary's best days are probably behind him almost certainly with respect to the man. So I just don't think he makes a ton of sense anymore. Having said that, if they win again, they should send him a ring. I don't know what the rules are on that, like if the league prevents it, but just send him one anyway. I don't think anyone would get mad.
Yeah. I think like somebody would have to purchase it for him and then
say, like,
give it to him.
The Cronkies might be mad and they got to pay for it.
Yeah,
but-
that's true. Yeah, that's true. I'll buy it. How much is it?
You know what the greatest thing that we learned about sitting courtside? Now that I've sat in those seats before. This is your first time, my second time.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But in the post-championship era of those courtside seats, everyone has a replica ring there. They all just show up at the game. They all just wear the replica ring.
Yeah.
Somehow everybody's sitting courtside. Yeah, you just have a replica ring. Everybody's wearing it. Everybody's showing it off. Oh, check it out.
And
Check out my ring. Oh, check out my ring.
And
Oh, my ring
different
has
levels.
this. My ring has this.
Different levels. It's like sports cars in Florida garages. They're like, actually, mine's the new model.
But none of them had like all of the bells. None of them had the pull out or the dial part.
Right.
One guy's like, I stole this from Flacco. I jumped him in the parking lot. This is
That
his
was
real
Flacco.
ring.
Yeah, that was Flacco.
Yeah, that's a good observation. Somehow everybody sitting courtside has
loved
a
it.
different version of the Nuggets
I loved
championship
it.
ring,
It's like a membership,
including courtside Dave.
Yeah.
Of course, courtside Dave. Shout out courtside Dave.
Shout out courtside Dave.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to another guy I've got on this list. Another former Nugget, another guy that could be brought back for the vibes, another guy who's currently injured, Monte Morris.
Oh, man.
I think the question here is Monte Morris better than Reggie Jackson? Would he be a better backup point guard on this team? My first instinct is no. It's my first instinct. But it's close.
I agree. I mean, part of it is, too, since this is a completely open-ended and hypothetical exercise, let's just say Monte was here instead of Reggie all season. Is he able to do what Reggie did when Jamal was out, which is arguably more important than any of the low-floor stuff now that Jamal is back, even though Reggie struggled a little bit there. Like what he did to keep them afloat and play at such a high level when Jamal was out, that is, first of all, that was the argument for signing Reggie. Like the ceiling can be high for a certain period. And then it also really kept them afloat, right? So I love Monte, and I can't believe I'm saying no to 2 straight Mr. Nuggets. But I think this is another.
Yeah.
I think this is another vibes pick.
It's a Mr. Nugget hate crime.
Yeah, I know, man.
Trade
AG.
The thing about the current state of the Nuggets is that the backup one is somehow the epicenter of their offense on the bench.
Right.
Like Reggie Jackson has to score in a way that we never really necessarily needed to count on Monte Morris to bring that. Monte Morris showed the ability to score. I'm like, he started for some period of time, and he does have scoring prowess. I mean, I would do it. I would take Monte Morris back. He is, like not in his current state. He hasn't played all season. He looks like very not ready to play NBA basketball. I don't actually know what's wrong with him. His heel.
I think it's a quad.
His quad.
A leg injury.
But I mean, I love Monte Morris. Like that guy's the best, and he did step in for Jamal. And like that's what it is to be the backup center. Is you're going to step in for Jamal for some portion of the season because Jamal Murray has a tendency to be out for some portion of the season, and he was able to do it. I don't know. Reggie Jackson has been great though. That's the thing is that like a lot of this is like saying like you prefer one to the other. It's just I would prefer to just I want like 15 players on the Nuggets, and I'll take. Like, come on.
Right.
Come on, Mr.
They're
Nugget.
all good and we love them all.
They're all good, man.
Right.
I think the biggest difference is he would just bring a different dynamic to the
For
second
sure.
unit. Reggie's so much more of a scorer.
Yeah.
Monte's more of the facilitator, table setter, the pure point guard.
Exactly.
On that unit. So it would just mean the bench would have a different identity. I feel like it might be a little worse, but I don't think it'd be like a huge drop off.
Yeah.
The second unit would just seem a lot different. I do wonder if they need Reggie scoring.
That's kind of.
They kind of need it.
Are you getting the, necromancy Lob City game that they put together
Definitely
with Reggie
not.
and DeAndre? Probably
The
not.
posthumous Lob City.
Right. But maybe is the floor a little higher? Is everything a bit more organized? Are you able to sort of change the stagger and try something differently? We know Monte can play in a Denver Nuggets rotation, but part of this is just Reggie Jackson has been just about everything you could have asked for at the price point they signed him at.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, here's another one, and we'll switch up positions here. Isaiah Hartenstein.
Wow.
Oh, man, Adam's.
Wow, he
eat your
looks
heart
different
out.
these days. Oh, there we go.
Eat your Hartenstein out,
Yeah.
Adam.
I can't
Isaiah
believe it.
Hartenstein, who has moved into the New York Knicks starting lineup, I believe, with Mitchell Robinson out. But Isaiah Hartenstein kind of blowing up with the Knicks a little bit. I mean, he's averaging 6.5 points, 7.5 rebounds per game this season. But recently, he's had games of 19 rebounds. He's gone for 20 rebounds. He's scoring in double figures as well. He's really proving to be like one of the better backup centers in the league. And I don't think we had that opinion on him when he was in Denver.
When he was in Denver, he was unable to catch the basketball.
I know.
You remember
Good
this?
point. Yeah, I forgot.
He would frequently streak to the basket and be delivered a pass that he would be unable to corral and had turnover after turnover. It was so bizarre. We all thought that Isaiah Hartenstein was going to be a player for us because he was like a really good acquisition. It felt like he was like, he was another guy, if I remember correctly, that was like heating up, like just destroying the G League.
He was destroying the G League, and he had played with Monte Morris in the G League, which was a fun little storyline. And he had shown well for the Rockets in spurts before he got here.
Yeah, it really seemed like he was going to be a guy for us. And then that was just like a period during the Denver Nuggets history where no backup center could do anything ever. Like it was JaVale McGee, couldn't get in the game. Isaiah Hartenstein, like didn't make sense, couldn't catch the ball. Seemed like oddly just, I don't know, like unable to play NBA basketball. But then, he's gone on to prove that. I mean, we saw him at Summer League just like walking around without a job, just like hoping to catch on with any team. And he obviously did, and good for him. Like, I think, obviously backup five is a place where the Denver Nuggets desperately need help.
Yeah.
I would absolutely take Isaiah Hartenstein back. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I would too. I do think Chat hit on it. There's some revisionist history. I actually don't think we engaged in it. It's easy to engage in it because he's improved. He was a foul machine in Denver. The Chat hit on it. They're dead right. And I think Malone kind of had a short leash with him between the fouls and, you know, the drops and things. And so what's already a short stint, backup minutes behind Jokic, would often be even shorter. And so he just never found a rhythm. The thing you like with Hartenstein is there's some playmaking ability there, in my opinion. There's a little bit of skill. And, you know, Denver does, I don't know, maybe this is a kind of by default thing. Plumlee could play make a little bit. And they played some of their best non-Jokic minutes with Plumlee around. I'm sure we'll get to him. Hartenstein had some playmaking chops. I don't think he was a role threat or anything like that, but he's a guy certainly who, how he's playing right now, is that better than what Zeke gives you? Probably, right? I mean,
But his playmaking was something that made him so attractive. Like, that's the thing we talked about. Man, he could play make in a, like, give you 30% of the playmaking that Nikola Jokic does, and that's already way more than any other center would give you.
Right. I agree with that.
Like, Hartenstein was not great when he was here, but I think he was better than we remember still. Like, he had good moments.
Yeah.
I guarantee if you go back and look, you'd be like, oh, he was better than I remember. But still, he was not great.
Well, I think a lot of it is we had big expectations of him.
And also, that year was like the COVID season.
Yes.
It was a weird year.
Truly.
And again, with a lot of backup centers that we've seen, he didn't get a long leash. Like, he had a very short leash, and he seemed to fall out of favor with Michael Malone relatively quickly. And that's a problem with backup centers here in Denver. So would have been great if it worked out. And yeah, of course. I mean, he'd be a definite upgrade, I think, if he was back.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to another backup center here. What about this guy? DeMarcus Cousins?
Boogie.
Maybe the only backup center post Mason Plumlee that's worked out.
Yeah.
And I think he only worked out because he did have the longest leash from Michael Malone, and he was not worried about losing his spot every time he went out there.
We have a chance to be the first people to ever go, you know what? I'd love to run it back with Boogie Cousins. Let's do it again. Sentences that have never been uttered. Boogie was genuinely really good as a backup.
He was amazing.
Awesome. He won several games for the Denver Nuggets.
The talent was there. You know, there's the fact that no one in the league wanted him on their team, I think tells you a lot. We've been over that.
Nobody in the NBA, and apparently nobody in Europe either.
Yeah, not a lot. So, look, he's a better player than Zeke or DeAndre right now. One thing he doesn't do is roll particularly hard to the rim. So, like, would that help Reggie per se? And, you know,
more pick and pop.
Stylistically, it doesn't fit, but also who cares?
Yeah.
Because the talent's there and he's more skilled. And in a vacuum, take your drinks, that 1 year, that probably was the best backup big minutes we've seen in Denver.
Easily. I mean, we were
in the Jokic era.
I definitely wanted them to re-sign Boogie. It is clear that the on-court production of Boogie Cousins has very little to do with whether or not a front office will sign him to an NBA contract. Like, he's clearly got issues that we didn't really see a lot of them. That was the thing that surprised me, is that, like, I was positive it was going to, the Boogie thing was going to be more visible on the court. It was going to kind of poison the play, just like
seem to, did it?
It didn't at all. Like, that's the thing, is like I was so surprised.
One goal. There's only one. Yeah. And it came at the very, very end of the season.
Yes.
On the bench against Golden State.
That's right.
He got a bunch of texts, which was hilarious.
He did. Yeah, there was stuff like that.
He did.
Yeah.
Although so does Jokic. I mean, he gets texts all the time.
True.
So, I mean, it seems like, this is I don't know anything about what I'm talking about, but I would love to have Boogie Cousins back. But clearly, there's much to this that you just is not.
There's got to be a good reason.
There has to be a good reason. Right. Yeah, like, it seems too good to be true. But he was amazing. He was absolutely amazing. And, like, imagine the center position for the Denver Nuggets the backup 5 being another source of offense on that second unit
Right.
that just like struggles to score. And he's defensively inclined also. I don't know. But clearly there's something there.
Yeah. We are talking about current state, though, so I
Right.
wonder
Yeah,
what he
that's
looks
good.
like
That's a good
now, and I don't know. I doubt we probably won't ever see DeMarcus Cousins back in the NBA.
I think that's
Probably
right.
not.
Oh, definitely not.
Probably not.
I mean, well, who knows? The Lakers can surprise you. I'll say that.
Are the Lakers more likely to sign Dwight Howard or DeMarcus Cousins?
Well, they got to gear up for the 3/4 of the way through tournament.
They probably need one of them. They need one of them. All right, last one here before we take a quick break. What about Mason Plumlee?
Man,
To stick on the backup center theme, I was watching Clippers Suns last night. Mason Plumlee, he's back from injury. He
How'd he
was
look?
out there.
How do you look?
He played in garbage time.
Okay.
I think it was his first game back after a long absence. So not great, but I think he was just getting his feet wet. I would take Mason Plumlee back.
I would do it in a heartbeat.
No question. Absolutely.
Yeah.
He like that is
Last year he was playing 20 minutes a game. This year he hasn't played a ton because he's been hurt.
not that such a thing exists, but like this was the closest Jokic proxy that you have, like the
Sure.
closest, like the guy that could actually pass the ball in some same universe as Nikola Jokic, at least like looked to make those same kind of passes, sort of. But like there wasn't like a massive drop off. You didn't have completely different play styles between bench and starting unit. Obviously, again, not remotely comparable the level of player, but like you at least could play through him a little bit,
Right.
in a
Yeah.
way that the Denver Nuggets have not been able to since.
The same idea that you had with Hartenstein.
He's an actual pick and roll guy. He could play with Reggie. He could play with Jabal in a pinch, and he's like the best conceivable center here in this situation. No, was he better than
No, but we're limited to former Nuggets.
was he? But also, like, was he better than what we've seen from Zeke and DeAndre this year?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a bit of, time is so funny when like perspective and all that. I mean, we were very frustrated with a lot of things Mason Plumlee did.
I know.
Anytime he shot a free throw.
Oh man, oh god,
There's another guy
Why'd you
who-
have to say that? I totally forgot about that.
It's like,
Well,
when you're
now he's shooting them right-handed. Or, sorry,
Left-handed.
left-handed.
before it was. You remember when you try to like open a beach chair or lawn chair, but it gets stuck halfway through, and you gotta kind of like that was his free throw for him.
Damn.
But he could do some backup big things, and in hindsight, it worked, right? To some degree, it worked, and I think it would be more than they're getting right now.
Yeah. I'd take him back. He's
wonder-
only making $5 million
a
this year.
reverse dunk,
Only
please.
only making $5 million this
On
year.
the condition that he covers Anthony Davis this time in a big game if he's open.
or he just is not playing. At
On
that
the
time.
condition that he's not allowed to call for switches.
Yeah.
On the condition he's not in the game in the last 5 minutes of a big playoff.
Do you think he'd still get subbed in over Jokic for defensive purposes?
Oh man, maybe it's possible.
Switchable?
It's possible. If our closing lineup it is just no longer Michael Porter Jr. or Nikola Jokic, it's Peyton Watson and Mason Plumlee.
You gotta before that possession, a coach has to pull Mason aside, look him deep in his eyes, and try to discern: do you want to be here?
Yeah,
Do you want this win?
you have to ride an elevator with him and find out.
If you feel like it's a
We're
yes,
not in the bubble.
You can put him in there. I
Every
think.
game
We're
you have to
not
take
at
an
Disney
elevator
World.
ride with Mason Plumlee and just
Yeah.
find out where he's at mentally.
How you doing, Mace? How you doing?
All right, let's hit a break. Let's get into the mailbag on the other side.
a good
Tons
show.
and tons of great questions
Well, hold on. Can we?
to get to.
Well, okay.
We'll get to on the other side.
Okay.
Eric, let me pop quiz for you. You've been hurt at work,
Okay.
in a car, or as a pedestrian. You're pretty GD sure it's not your fault.
Yeah.
What do you do next?
I'd probably go to Legal Pete's.
No, good guess. No, good guess. That's tomorrow's read. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. No, I'm talking about Backus and Shanker.
I
You
smashed the
visit
two.
them at coloradolaw.net or call them at 222-2222 to find out if you have a case for free. The consultation is free. In fact, them taking on your case is free. They don't charge you until they've won, and they have won over $1 billion for their clients over the years with offices in Denver, Aurora, Englewood, and Fort Collins. And with more than 30 lawyers and 100 folks on staff, Backus, Shanker, and company have the strength and power to win your case. Call them if you've been injured at work in a car accident as a pedestrian. It's not your fault. 222-2222. 2-2 to find out if you have a case for free Backus and Schenker. They win.
Also, guys, check out Bet365. So here's what I need you to do. Download Bet365 if you haven't. Use code DNVR365. Place a $10 deposit. Deposit $10. Then I need you to screenshot that deposit. Send it to promo@thednvr.com. And you're going to get a free shirt or hat from the DNVR locker. We will then send you a discount code for a free t-shirt and hat. You can redeem that at the DNVR locker. I think on any shirt or hat, right?
Yeah.
Whatever shirt or hat you want.
Yeah, you can go whatever you want. You split it up. We're just sending you cash, cashola.
Yeah. And all you got to do is deposit $10 on Bet365. Bet it on, I don't know, the Nuggets, bet it on whatever. And then, you're off and running from there. Bet365, never ordinary. You got to use the code DNVR365 at sign up, though. Then screenshot your $10 deposit, send it to us, promo@thednvr.com. You'll get a discount code for a free t-shirt or hat. Boom, it's that easy. Must be 21 plus and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER.
And then you could get a winning is fun and losing sucks shirt, and it would be very appropriate.
You could.
Oh, yeah.
You could.
Yeah.
All right, back here on the DNVR Nuggets podcast, the DNBA show presented by Bet365, Never Ordinary. What were you saying before the break, D-Line?
Well, are we done talking about former Nuggets we take back?
We can throw in some.
I was just going to do a rapid fire.
Yeah, I love
you know who I want?
Who?
Well, Bones Highland back. I love Bones Highland.
I was thinking about putting him on my list.
Listen, Bones Highland has been much maligned because he acted like a little baby, and he deserves all of the criticism and all of the treatment that he's gotten from Nuggets Nation. He was so good for us at times, not all the time, but he was a player that was growing and progressing, and now he's found himself obviously buried on the bench. He's made no progress since that time. It's such a shame. I hate to see it. Like, I love what Mile High City, baby. He had like a thing going with us. Like,
he kind of did the voice there.
He made a terrible decision, a terrible life choice. I feel bad for him, but the bench still can't score.
The deeply, deeply ironic part about Bones' decision is that if he never makes it, or the subsequent behavior that leads to it, however you want to frame it or look at it, Reggie's been good this year on the contract they signed him.
Yes.
But God, isn't there an opportunity for a young ball handler with room to develop and to take the reins of the non-Jokic minutes going forward? And now there's no place for him to play.
Look at this, like Joey Moya says, Bones was never good. Lies. We have photos.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lie. He was good at times. He was very good at times. Team. He won us games. He was kind of low-key good sometimes in the playoffs.
But right now, do you need, with having said everything I said, it played out the way it did. You got Reggie. He's playing at the level he's at. I mean, it's, you're asking, I think it's such a complicated situation that the simplest thing is to say no.
Well, it's all, I mean, can I just make a blanket statement? Let's not get any old Nuggets back.
Yeah, good call.
But listen, the guys that I would consider Bones Highland. I would consider PJ Dozier, depending upon how he looks physically.
Yeah.
I would consider, maybe that's all.
The problem with Bones is his skills would help on the court. I just don't know if he'd be accepted back into the locker room.
I mean, that's the thing.
Right.
Yeah. That's the problem.
The players did not want him here anymore.
Mile High City, baby. Everyone's
He was so jealous.
What if he just came in and just started yelling that in the middle of the locker room? Would that get everybody back in on him?
I mean, listen, it just takes a little bit. We watched the video of James Harden reuniting with the Clippers, and it was the most awkward clip on the internet. And now apparently they're rolling. They've moved past it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, Bruce Brown.
Of course.
Yeah. But,
that's
like
we didn't even bring that up because that's the most.
Yeah.
Of course. So we just take Bruce Brown.
But I mean, is he better than Peyton Watson?
Nobody's better than Christian Brown. He's and he would be a better. I would still have him run the point.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. Bruce Brown, the very obvious answer. To
Absolutely. I mean, Bruce Brown would come back and be the sixth man. He'd come back and be the Nuggets' sixth best player again.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
That was fun.
Should we go to the mailbag?
Mailbag.
All right.
Time.
This one comes in from GP_Nuggets. I don't know if you guys saw this, but he asked, what is going on with the best player in Serbia by the Basketball Federation of Serbia survey? It named Bogdan Bogdanovic as the best Serbian basketball player.
I love this.
I don't know if you guys saw that.
I love it.
Not Nikola Jokic. It was Bogdan Bogdanovic. I think we know why this is the case, but
do we know for sure? Like, is it you had to have played for the team in the last year? Or
Jokic
something
got
like
some votes, but I think
so.
was in-
Jokic. Wow, Jokic was on the ballot, and okay.
yeah.
is
man.
Simonic, excuse me. It's so far away. Simonic, that's the fellow that lost the kidney, no? Or is he one of the guys there that has the 1 and 2 votes is the guy that lost a kidney playing for Team Serbia. So
Yeah.
someone was like, now that's a patriot right
Bogdan
there.
Bogdanovic, 27 votes. Nikola Jokic, 10 votes. Alexa Avramovic, 2 votes. Borisa Simonic, 1 vote.
Quick question: the Serbian Basketball Federation, is Kendrick Perkins on the federation? Is he a member of the federation?
I don't believe so.
Okay. This is a message is being sent. Jokic has not fulfilled his role to his country in many people's eyes.
Yes.
We've gone through this several times. The rise and fall. I've seen it now. Going to Serbia several times as I've been, like Jokic does not have the presence in Serbia you would imagine he would, based on the player that we know him to be. And a lot of it is that people don't feel like he has Serbia in his heart in the way that they want him to. Like, it's not as important to him to put the national colors on in the national uniform and fight in their name. And this feels to, I mean, this seems insane, but clearly there's something else at play here.
Yeah, and just not playing in the World Cup. Or I'm sorry, in the what was it? The last event that he didn't.
Well, there was Eurobasket in the World Cup. That
Yeah, it was the World Cup.
yeah.
Yeah. And not, which I just confused in my head with the Olympics, which we do expect him to play in. So yeah, not playing in the World Cup.
Yeah. Look, man, we realized this when we were over there in Serbia. And look, I respect Serbian people for thinking this way. Nikola Jokic could win a three-peat in the NBA, and it wouldn't really mean that much to people in Serbia, compared to if he won a gold medal.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, he could win 10 NBA championships in Denver and 1 gold medal for Serbia. The gold medal would really be the only thing that matters.
This Olympics is, I mean, he may not care, right? But for people like us who care about legacy and stuff, if you're invested at all in the distinction between his NBA legacy and his Serbian basketball legacy, this Olympics is a massive defining upcoming event for him.
Yeah.
A
And I think he's going to play.
Right. And a strong run, a medal run here could go a long way in changing how he's talked about in these conversations.
Absolutely.
But until he does, I mean, he just hasn't played enough or succeeded enough for that team.
You know what I was thinking about the other day? And I put this in the Slack so you guys saw it. Paris Olympics. You know who's the coach for Team USA?
Steve Kerr.
It's Steve Kerr.
Oh, man.
Could you imagine a Serbia-US final? Nikola Jokic versus Steve Kerr? Steve Kerr, who now we have to just say it, #1 Nikola Jokic hater.
Big hater, dude.
#1 Jokic hater
And
is
this
probably
pod-
Steve Kerr right
this
now.
podcast, #1 Steve Kerr hater.
I mean, he
podcast.
hates Nikola Jokic. He might hate Serbia. I don't know.
Yeah, actually,
Could you imagine?
just
Team
Ser-
USA versus Serbia, Jokic versus Steve Kerr?
Serbia, I have it on good information. Steve Kerr hates you.
He must-
Serbia.
Personally.
You
He
should-
might personally hate Serbia.
Make sure he understands your feelings on that.
Yeah. Might hate the way the game is played there. Might hate those people.
He
I don't
doesn't-
know.
He
I
doesn't
don't know.
doesn't respect it.
Yeah.
Doesn't respect it.
Clearly doesn't respect how Nikola Jokic plays the game.
Thinks it's part of Russia. It's the worst part.
A little tongue-in-cheek, this segment. But you know what, Steve Kerr? Come on this podcast and defend
Yeah,
yourself.
dude.
Yeah.
If we're wrong, come tell us
Yeah,
we're
tell
wrong.
us to our faces, dude.
But could you guys just imagine a potential disaster class from Steve Kerr coaching
Yes.
Team USA.
Absolutely.
He's like fumbling his rotations. He doesn't know who his closing lineup is. He's like trusting, I don't know, Chris Paul or somebody over the point guard he should be playing. And they lose to Nikola Jokic in Serbia in a gold medal game.
He's like, get Austin Reeves out there. We need some defense.
Yeah. I was just thinking about the potential of that the other day. That could be fun.
It could be awesome.
If Austin Reeves is on the Olympic team, that can't happen.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Oh, man.
All right, let's move on here. This was a great question. It comes from @SollyBear on Twitter. What are the top 5 most ridiculous, not necessarily best, but most ridiculous Jokic stat lines? This, of course, comes off the 4, 7, and 16 performance against the Pistons. I did some research and I found some for you guys.
Talk to us, Harrison.
This one was also in a blowout win against a bad team. This was against the Bulls last year. Very similar to the Pistons stat line, actually. 8.6 rebounds, 14 assists in a 23-point win. He only took 4 shots in this game. 8.6 rebounds, 14 assists against the Bulls.
This was last season?
This was last year, yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's so great. Like every year is the same year. We're like, what is he doing? We're like, the same thing he did last year. The exact same thing he did last year.
This one was against the Grizzlies. You probably remember this. 13, 13, 13, plus 13. This is one of my all-time favorite Jokic stat
awesome.
lines.
That's a hard one to beat.
3 players have ever had 13, 13, 13.
I've got one for you that you're all going to hate.
Jokic, Magic, and Bird.
Like exactly 13, 13,
yeah.
13? Okay.
Jokic, Magic, and Bird.
Was it, it's the Memphis game, right? Where he didn't shoot till the final shot of regulation?
Yeah, I actually don't have that.
I don't have that line
though.
in there, but I'm throwing that game in there.
That was, oh God.
Can you
That was
imagine
a
if he
dark
hit
time, man.
Can you imagine if he hit that shot? The game winner. It's the only field goal. I wanted it so bad.
This one is actually from his rookie year. Check out this stat line. 16 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 steals. 5 steals. This one's from 2021. 23 points, 8 rebounds, 11 assists, 7 steals, and a loss.
7 steals?
Yeah.
That's a pretty sweet. You know what? Steals over blocks, by the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. Anyone can get blocks.
Also, if you block the shot, do you get the ball back? Who knows? You steal the ball, what happens, Eric?
It's your ball.
It's your ball, bro.
Same thing that happens when you take a cookie.
Yeah.
It's your cookie.
Grow up, all you rim protectors.
Yeah, dude.
Steal the ball.
Swat the ball into the stands.
Cool.
Everyone cheers. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Their ball.
Right.
I also have this one on there. This was versus Portland from 2022. 8 points, 18 rebounds, 11 assists in a 32-point win.
Dude, man, Jokic is the weirdest. He is the best thing ever. It's so hilarious that he could. First off, the fact that the very notion that Jokic could end a game with fewer than 10 points is so absurd, yet so real half of the time.
Right.
But then he just like does everything else. He's still like so deeply involved in everything that's going on. He can't not have one of the lines be insanely gaudy.
Have you guys seen these Detroit Pistons subreddit posts?
The one where like Jokic broke these guys' brain.
It's a couple guys posting like, this is actually the most embarrassing thing anyone's done to the Pistons. He refused to shoot, and he dominated us.
That's really saying something.
It is like psychological warfare, absolutely.
Right.
Where you have like the gun, but you won't use it on somebody.
Killian Hayes in the post. Yoke passed the ball.
Yeah.
You're like, oh God, we're not very good, are we?
You have this gun and you just like flick them to death. And they're like, stop flicking me.
Stop it. That tickles. Stop it.
And then they're dead.
Yeah.
Because you flicked them so
Tough
many
way to
times.
go.
Let's hit another break. A lot more mailbag questions to get to, including somebody asked us advice on what to show their newly born child.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Not this show.
No.
Hang
but
on.
maybe.
No.
They asked us?
Yeah, they asked us for advice on that.
I know D-Line's on today, right?
Yeah.
High Plains Strains provides top quality cannabis and a wide variety of products. Check them out for your needs, including infused edibles, high potency concentrates, and some of the best flower in the states.
The homies.
And by the way, we're talking about the whole state here, and we want everyone to be involved. We know that people all up and down the beautiful state of Colorado listen to the show. There are 3 High Plains Strains locations in Colorado: Log Lane Village, Garden City, and Sedgwick. Sedgwick?
Yep, Sedgwick.
Dude, I live here. So if you're in the northeastern Colorado, check out High Plains Strains. This is a dispensary for you and for everyone too. But if that's your region, go ahead and check them out. Save some time by ordering ahead online. Use code DNVR online or mention DNVR in stores. Also, you can get a full ounce right now for $80. That's honestly outrageous. Outrageous.
I know. What would young Brendan Vogt, as he got into the back of a weird Trans Am, think if you told him the value that was
yeah, as I hand some stranger $475 for what's clearly half an. Just kidding. I've never done this illegally, especially in Colorado where you can do it legally with places like with High Plains Strains. Excuse me. Remember to use the code DNVR or mention DNVR in stores. Take advantage of their deals.
Breckenridge Brewery is the official beer of DNVR. The beer of the month, still the Christmas ale, $6 at the DNVR bar. If you're local, stop in. Corner of Colfax in New York, we got tons of Breck brews on tap. If you're looking to get Breck brew, check out their beer locator online. Type in your zip code, shows you where to get Breck brew. Breckenridge Brewery, the official beer of DNVR.
We actually just got out of Orthodox Serbian Christmas. It lasts 3 days.
Long Christmas.
Dude, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
How did we not know that?
I knew it.
I mean, yeah.
You're
how did I
you're
not
basically
know that?
Serbian at this point.
Just a 3-day Serbian Orthodox Christmas. Wow. A lot of Christmas ale.
Sorry I didn't
to
get
get
you
drunk.
Yeah, I know, right? You had you had
Unbelievable.
U.S. Christmas,
I know.
Serbian Christmas, 3 days of Serbian Christmas, not one gift.
Not one gift. That's on me. That's on me.
This question comes from Monte J. French. My wife gave birth to our first child this morning.
Like today?
Congrats. Yeah, this was this morning, January 9th, 2024.
Dude, congrats.
Wife gives birth, hops right on Twitter to give us a mailbag question.
That's
I mean, he didn't give birth.
that's a good point.
He's got a lot of time to kill.
He asked, which Jokic highlight do I show him first? Oh, sounds like it was
easy.
a boy.
Great
Easy.
question.
This one. Show him where the bunny
where
drinks.
does the bunny drink?
Where
from
does
the
the bunny
palm.
drink? That's the
From
first.
the palm of the hand.
Absolutely.
I
To
think
teach them that nursery rhyme.
I think personally, it has to be the shot over Anthony Davis for me. Now, which one you might say? A couple of good ones, but the one that I think we've all seen. Where
And,
he's
yeah,
going
and then
left.
you could show him, show your child the Anthony Davis expression.
Yes.
And then you just call that the Davis. Like, show me the Davis, and then your child does that face.
I think this is folly though, because the young child just born unto this world does not have the context of why that's such an unorthodox shot. What if they think that's how they grow up thinking that's how you just are supposed to shoot a basketball?
Then congrats, you've raised the next Jokic.
Yeah, I guess so.
He'll be somber shuffling, from an early age.
Right? They're like, I think this is how you play.
I think you just want to show Jokic making 2 people happy. Just a standard assist.
You're right.
Everyone slaps 5s, and then you imbue the young child with the idea of community, making 2 people happy instead of just one.
Beautiful.
Just a compilation of assists.
Just like every Jokic assist.
Yeah. Probably just go to like the NBA channel on YouTube. There's probably a hour-long video of Jokic assists. Just
Yep.
Or you
set
just say,
that in front of your kid. And
or
boom.
you say F it, you show him the splendid Serbian hooker.
Start him off with that.
The highlight. The basketball.
Dad, show me the splendid Serbian hooker again.
Son, this is what we call. Or sorry, was it a daughter? I didn't check.
It was a son.
Son, we
Yeah.
call this one.
Yeah, just start
Serbian
off.
hooker.
Whatever, it's fine.
All right. A little more serious question here. Christian Brown shooting 38% from 3. Will that be
Tight.
higher, lower, or stay the same by season's end? Quick one here.
Lower.
Stay the same.
I bet it stays about the same. You think lower?
I don't
You're
trust
not quite buying it?
I don't trust it. Do you trust it? 38's high, man. That's a good clip.
I don't fully trust it yet.
I don't trust it yet.
I don't fully trust him as a barely under 40%
I
shooter.
don't trust it.
The reason I like it is because I think most of these are wide open threes that he's just taking. And I think he can hit wide open threes. So I'll go stay the same.
This one comes from J Parody 625. Assuming full health all around, would you rather the Nuggets face the Thunder or Clippers in the playoffs?
Great question. Great question.
Assuming full health. That's the part. Okay.
Yeah, like everybody's healthy.
The Nuggets are the kryptonite to the Clippers. They just are the absolute kryptonite to the Clippers. I don't fear them at all.
But they've never faced this team with Harden.
And a few centers off the bench now.
I mean, I don't know.
The Clippers have been playing great. I mean, if you haven't seen them recently, I watched them beat up the Suns last night, although that's not saying much these days.
Yeah, but they do look great.
They're 7-3 in their last 10. They're up to 4th in the West, only 2 games behind the Nuggets in the standings. They have one fewer loss than the Nuggets this season.
Yeah, the Nuggets have been a little. I mean, we feel like the Nuggets should have won more to this point. But I mean, you think about the matchups. You've got Aaron Gordon to put on Kawhi Leonard. You've got KCP to put on Podcast P.
They do match up well.
You've got, then I suppose Jamal Murray is on James Harden, but I don't know, James Harden doesn't strike me with fear. It's just I like that matchup, and it's not that I fear the Thunder. It's just that the Nuggets have shown that they have absolutely no fear of the LA Clippers.
I'll say the Thunder just because the Thunder have playoff inexperience, which I really think is undefeated. I think the Thunder have what they need. Like, that roster could win a championship once they've lost and won some tough playoff games together. And I just think Denver kind of has the Golden State thing going on. Not the dynasty, but just there are young up-and-comers who haven't been where Denver's been and haven't succeeded where they've been. And when you're made like that, it's all slower, and you're just better in the tight moments. So,
yeah, I'd probably go the Thunder as well, just because they haven't been there before, and playoff experience is such an important thing, man. I definitely learned that last year.
Yeah.
And I actually think the Nuggets would beat the Thunder fairly easily in the playoffs, a 5-game series.
I do too. I mean, I think that I don't fear either matchup.
I fear the Clippers a little bit. I actually do,
really?
Which I feel like is crazy.
I know.
Well, the part of that the assuming full health part is the part that's
a big assumption.
That's a massive assumption.
Yeah.
For the LA Clippers.
The thing about the Nuggets perspective is the Clippers are better than they are scary to us. They are good, They are good. There's still something like, okay, if you told me that was the most formidable foe, you'd still go, all right, well, I want to see that series, man, The Nuggets just have found a way to beat that team too many times.
Yeah. All right, time for one final break. Hit some mailbag questions on the other side, including one trade that somebody sent us that I actually think is a little intriguing.
Really?
I'm not typically one for fake trades, but this one could be a little something.
You've changed the very nature of Harrison Wind with this proposal.
I thought this trade was intriguing.
Man, I'm new in town. I'm told they call you Denver Man.
That's right.
I'm looking for a go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beer.
Oh, let's see. Buddies and beer.
Bacchus and Shanker. No, good guess, Eric. It's Illegal Pete's. That's what it says here on my phone. Just kidding. I know this for a fact. I've been many times. I actually might take a buddy to Illegal Pete's today.
I might take
after
a beer
the
over
show. Wait.
That's ridiculous.
Illegal Pete's is the best because they have burritos, buddies, and beer, but also margaritas.
All three at the same
It's
time.
kind of, look, those make your own burrito stations. There's a lot of franchises, a lot of imposter competitors out there. Illegal Pete's has the best ingredients. They also have a bar. Game over, folks.
Yep.
Illegal Pete's, the go-to spot for burritos, buddy, and beers. Oh, also, there's a new location now located in Gold's Marketplace on the corner of 26th and Kipling, overlooking
Wow.
Crown Hill Park. Check them out at Crown Hill Park.
Have to make my way over there. Also, check out FOCO. FOCO, the leading manufacturer of sports and entertainment merchandise. They have legit stuff too. They're officially licensed with all the leagues, all the sports. So these are legit bobbleheads, legit toys, collectibles, novelty items. A lot of the stuff on our sets, if you see a bobblehead or something like that, it's probably from FOCO. We used to have that unicorn horse on the set.
It's still over here. It destroyed the White
championship
House.
trophy. Is that from FOCO?
Yes.
The mini Lario B right there. That's from FOCO. Like
MLOB.
that thing is legit. It's like heavy. It feels.
Yeah, dude.
It feels like a miniature trophy should feel.
And we would know we've seen the real thing.
Yeah.
have.
And
Right
we're not
there.
allowed to touch it under any circumstance.
No.
Yeah.
So actually, we wouldn't
We
know.
wouldn't know at all.
We got close.
FOCO always
were
has our
very
back
close.
for Cardinal
Good
Sports.
enough.
They have yours too. Get the best gear around by using the link in our description. For all non-presale items, use the promo code DNVR for 10% off. Use the code DNVR for 10% off. All right, back here on the DNVR Nuggets podcast.
Let's finish strong.
The DNBA show. Let's finish strong. I want to go to this question here about Michael Porter Jr. and his three-point shooting. If MPJ plays enough with the Nuggets, do you see him possibly becoming the all-time Nuggets leader in three-pointers made?
Man.
Right now, guys, he is sitting tied for 8th with Danilo Gallinari at 535 made threes.
But he's the fastest to 500. He was the
Yes.
fastest to 500, right?
Yeah.
So Eric, I mean, I think we're really coming down to like,
Yeah.
do you think he's gonna be a Nugget?
Or do we think he's like his
Last year, for example,
Body
he
is gonna
made
allow
it.
188 threes. He's already made 105 this year.
Yeah, this is a question of longevity. Because obviously he's on pace. He should easily shatter this if he keeps on the pace that he's at with the ability that he has. Like Michael Porter Jr. is a gifted three-point shooter. His stroke is beautiful. It is idyllic. No one can block it. He shoots at such a height that it's like no one can get in his way. Like if he wants to shoot it, he's going to Mike his way to getting it done. But like, is he going to be A, in a Nuggets uniform, and B, in a NBA uniform long enough to do it?
And the other thing is, you know who probably will be is Jamal Murray, who in the
Right.
meantime is going to continue to make threes. And I'd even say now, fellas, to me, looks more an eager, if not capable, three-point shooter than ever before right now, Jamal Murray. So,
Yeah, I would agree.
So probably he's not really going to catch him, but can he put a dent in this? Like he is, like the pace that he's on is outrageous, right? And this is a guy that's going to get a lot of,
I bet he eventually winds up at 2.
yeah.
And I bet Jamal Murray is 1.
The golden era of these Denver Nuggets is
If
going
Michael
to,
Porter stays here, for 4 more seasons. it's
Yeah,
probably what it
the
would take.
record books are going to be littered with this golden era of Denver
Yep.
Nuggets.
Right.
Yep. All right, let's go to this question here. This comes from Rennie Bear.
Oh,
Is it wild to anybody
Yes.
that Denver has not become a desirable situation for NBA players? Everyone who shares the floor with Jokic plays the best basketball of their career. Why aren't more players trying to force their way to Denver as free agents or in trades?
do we know that this is a fact?
I think the question probably comes from the basis of when a player gets bought out, or when a player requests a trade. Just the classic destinations are Lakers, Heat, Knicks.
Right.
Right.
And I think that part of the NBA is just ingrained and set in stone and will never change. Even if the Nuggets won, 3 in a row and were a dynasty, they'd probably be like the Spurs.
There was something to. They did get Reggie Jackson.
Just gonna
and
say.
ironically, he was very bad after they got him. Now he's been good.
Yep.
No longer a buyout guy, but also in their org because of that.
Yeah.
And,
And Reggie Jackson turned down other contenders
At the
like
top-
the Bucks.
Precisely. And because of some of the flashes of talent we've seen now, all the way back then, we had tabbed him as the premier headline buyout guy.
Yes.
And he chose Denver. And so that was a small little, Bruce Brown definitely was under offered in free agency, but he too was, took a pretty reasonable offer to come here. I think on the margins, this is changing a little bit, but I don't think you're ever gonna hear, the next disgruntled superstar. What's his short list of teams he'd like to force his way to? You're gonna hear Miami. You're gonna hear the Lakers. I don't know if the Nuggets will ever come up.
Yeah, what if it's Luka?
I was actually just gonna say that, Kale. Do you think Luka Doncic would put the Nuggets on his short list if he asked out?
Yes, I do think so.
I think he might.
It's a good point, guys.
But I will say, just in general, though, like, we just won the championship. Like,
Nice.
This has just been proven that it's possible to get it done here. And I don't think that the front office was interested in a lot of free agents this offseason. They were really interested. They have all of these young guys that they want and they believe in, and, like, they're Calvin's guys. And so I don't know that we've been able to even, like, see this theory be tested.
I do think Denver is like higher up on the list than people think, though.
Yeah,
For sure.
Jeff Green came here. He was ring chasing.
I mean, back in the day, it was impossible to get anyone. Like, the idea that Paul Millsap came here was so earth shattering, and you had to pay him such an ungodly sum of money that, like, people still can't separate the idea of what kind of player he was with the amount of money that he made, even though he was fantastic for the Denver Nuggets. That was the point. That was the inflection point where it was even a possibility where you would consider a free agent would come to the Denver Nuggets. And we've seen since that time more and more doing it. I mean, like, you're right. The guys that are disgruntled in forced trades, like, those guys suck. Like, those are bad guys, generally speaking. Those are the guys that are very interested in their own situation, like, personally, that want to go to Miami, want to be in the club. Like, those are like every time that, like, those players come up, those aren't guys you want on the Denver
We had
Nuggets.
a question that we're not going to be able to get to, but somebody asked about PJ Tucker. And he's like one of those classic guys. Like, if PJ Tucker is a free agent, he's on the Clippers now, but, the teams that he might be interested in. It's like the Lakers, the Heat,
Exactly.
But
You don't want that
You don't
guy.
want PJ Tucker.
Yeah,
he's a bad dude who's going to complain about playing time, and he's probably cooked.
Do you want James Harden to force a trade from the Clippers to come to Denver? I mean, like, there's not that many guys that do this anymore.
Yeah.
Or there hasn't been in the last however long.
Oh, I do think the word of mouth stuff too. Like, some people in the chat are saying Reggie and Jeff Green, this isn't the caliber of guy. It kind of is, though, if you're talking about the buyouts and the kind of like the ring chaser. Like, word of mouth matters. And in the 5 years that I've been here, this organization's reputation has changed so much.
Oh, drastically.
As a place where you can come, succeed, get paid with Yoke and all that, but also they're going to take care of you. I think Reggie Jackson, Jeff Green, DeAndre Jordan, all these guys would co-sign that now.
Yeah.
And those guys are in the inner circle of NBA, just the community, right? So those are guys who I think them enjoying their time here, it goes further than we think for these on the margin signings. And yeah, look, it's not Kawhi that wants to force his way here.
Yeah, dude, we don't want KD.
But you know what? Maybe the Nuggets are better off.
We don't
for
want
it.
James
So,
Harden.
yeah.
We don't want those guys. But, it's like, could Bogdanovic, the top Serbian player, like, decide to come and sign here? Like, guys like that, like mid-level players, like guys that are, maybe entering the second half of their career, and they're looking around saying, like, where could I reasonably try to get on that would be a good situation for me from a basketball standpoint? Like, Denver is in those conversations now. They absolutely are.
They absolutely are. They absolutely are. Final question here, and this was a trade that was sent in from @NotFamousNoah on Twitter.
Oh, man. Let's make this guy famous.
Check out this fake trade that he proposed. If you can make that a little bigger, Kel, zoom in. It's the Nuggets giving up Reggie Jackson, Zeke Naji, Julian Strawther,
their
Vlatko
entire
Čančar,
bench.
Justin Holiday for Alex Caruso, Andre Drummond, and Torrey Craig.
Well, I mean, yes, but I feel like there's some work to do to get them
So
to
wait,
say
who's left
yes.
on the bench here? So
I mean, this could be a little enticing for Chicago because, you get Julian Strawther, who's like, could be a blue chip type prospect.
So our bench then is we have Caruso is the one.
Drummond
Drummond
at
is
center,
the 5.
CB,
man.
and Peyton Watson.
I don't think there's a chance that trade happens without picks.
Yeah,
But
maybe.
But first of all, yes.
And I guess Torrey Craig is our other bench player.
How much does Torrey Craig play over Peyton Watson?
Oh my God!
If they played together, it would be the most
or over Christian
we've ever seen guys fall over on the floor. Just chaos.
Well, yeah. What is this solving? I don't. This just seems like you're just moving stuff to move stuff.
I mean, it's given Denver an upgrade at backup center, I think,
and Alex Caruso, who would actually become the best defender
probably
on the team.
Playing maybe not more than Reggie Jackson in the playoffs, but is like a bona fide A+ defender.
We have one.
Can you imagine having Alex Caruso, Christian Brown, and Peyton Watson on the floor together in the playoffs against other second units?
I mean, that feels like they score like 10 points a game.
You don't have a point guard off the bench unless Caruso's kind of doing that.
He's your point guard, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's keep what we got.
I don't know. I thought it was interesting.
That's like a lot of upheaval.
Hang on. To be first of all, yes. I think if you could convince Chicago to take that trade and you can get Alex Caruso and a better backup center,
you would have to risk messing the vibes though
That's
up
what I'm saying,
the locker
dude.
room, and that to me is like the biggest question here. Do you want that much turnover on a team that's already as good as the Nuggets are? And with a locker room that's already so connected as the Nuggets locker room is, I don't know.
I want Strawther, man.
I don't want to give up Strawther either.
All right. That angle I get. I just think Caruso is. If you could get Caruso and improve the backup center situation without giving up Peyton Watson, that just sounds like cooking with grease to me. Is that the expression?
Cooking with gas.
Cool. I don't cook.
Yeah, dude.
I go to Legal Pete's.
This tells me if you invite us over because you're cooking, you shouldn't show up. We're like, how'd you do this? You're like, I cooked it with grease.
A lot of grease involved. I asked for a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
I was just cooking with grease. I mean, you can cook with grease, but that's not the colloquialism you're looking for.
Thank you.
Yeah. But the Bulls, I think, could be a huge seller at the deadline. And Caruso, Drummond.
You think so? The Bulls are like
Torrey Craig could be on the move.
Bulls team is doing the thing that the Chicago Bears is doing to their team, where they're like good enough, where they're like, oh man, like, is there something here, or do we?
Dude, they're 17 and 21. Are they?
They just keep going through these. They keep going through these winning spurts.
They're 6-4 in their last 10. I mean,
they keep going through these winning spurts. I'm telling you, Kobe White has like.
I just don't know.
I do like Kobe White. I
know, but even that's like. As far as reasons to maybe delay your rebuild, Kobe White having a very strong month and a half is like pretty low on the list.
think that they maybe think like, all right, maybe we can trade Zach and get just in that like find enough of to supplant like a little bit what we got.
Yeah. All right, we'll see. Fun show today, guys.
That was great, guys.
Thanks for the questions. Thanks for hanging out in the chat. Good stuff. We'll be back tomorrow. The Nuggets are in Utah. They're playing the Jazz. That game is at 8 o'clock? Or is it 7? 8 o'clock. So pregame show 7:30 Mountain Time. We'll be right here in the studio to bring it to you.
Who did the Jazz just smack? Was it the
Bucks?
The Bucks.
Did you see that what their social account did? They posted their equipment manager.
Trying to be better.
Because, Giannis.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah. All right, we'll talk to you guys then. Later.
We all silly like the mayor.